Yo, everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and today we have one of a kind guest here. We have a guy that has been killing it for years. A great guy, Entertainah, talking sports. Giant fan, but a great guy. What's up, my man?
I appreciate you for having me on, Philly, man. Obviously known you for a while on YouTube. You have a great. I think you're, as far as I know, the biggest Eagles content creator on YouTube. You do a great job. Always make me laugh whenever I catch one of your videos, and definitely looking forward to chopping it up with you about the NFC East, the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington no names, and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure we'll jump into all of it.
The no names, I love it. Right? How can a team have no name? I don't understand it. What's going on, everybody? Zeke fan, Ichigo, Emmanuel, David, Tim, Bria, Dominic, everybody is pouring in here. Just call me Flair. Thank you for the super chat. What a way to start out. Hurts going 2-0 versus the Giants. I love him. Pause. Yeah. Do you hear about this pause thing? Do you know about this? So apparently,
I know the pause thing. Don't they say that when it's something like that could be thought to be like gay or something? They say pause.
They have to say pause. So everybody gets on me all the time because I every day I proclaim my love for Kyle Pitts and JOK and so I don't say the word pause anymore. I just pause. And we're good. Much easier,
As far as and obviously I'm a Giants fan. It's coming from a biased perspective. I don't think he's sweeping the New York Giants this year, and I love Jalen Hurts, and I won't have to pause with that because I personally do not think he's your long-term answer at the quarterback position.
Oh, okay. So you don't think he's? Let's jump right into this with Jalen Hurts question. So what did you think about the Carson Wentz trade, and what do you think about the Jalen Hurts? I know you gave just some of your opinion, but
the Carson Wentz trade, I actually think you guys did a good job. I mean, not getting to that point, I think you guys screwed up Carson Wentz personally by drafting Jalen Hurts, and obviously had a bad relationship with Doug Peterson. That thing went south real fast. Yeah. I didn't agree with the Jalen Hurts pick. I think that had a lot to do with Wentz. I think it screwed him up in the head. But once it came to that point where you were going to have to trade him, and knowing that the money that he was making, you didn't have a lot of leverage. Teams knew that you had to trade him, that he was demanding a trade. I think you guys got as much as you could. What'd you get, a third-round pick this year? And you're probably going to get a first-round pick in the next year's draft. I think you guys did good with that trade. I really do. And it cleared up. Well, this year you got hit with the cap space, but kind of like we did when we first traded Beckham. But I think you guys got a comparable price to what we got for Beckham for a quarterback. If we're being fair, was coming off a horrible year last year that was making a ton of money. So, right. I actually think Wentz is going to do good in Indianapolis. I think he's a great fit there. Played in that scheme before, but I think it was done with Philadelphia, and I think you guys had to move on. And I think you guys did a good job.
Oh man, I personally would not have traded him. I think that it was way too early to give up on him. Because that's what I feel like they did. At the same time, hearing that he wanted out and he didn't want to fight for his job kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but I didn't think they would get what they got for him. So, the one thing I will say about Howie Roseman is he's very good at trades. He usually does a pretty good job in trades. Maybe not a lot of other things, but trades, And Entertainah, everybody wants a stand-up, man. They want to hear.
I don't know if Eagles fans are going to stand up for me, but I'll try it.
Well, Giant fans in here will.
Stand up, New York Giant fans. We're coming to take that division this year. I can't wait.
See, until the Giants actually sweep us, I still think we own you. Because the truth of the matter is we've beaten the crap out of you for a while. Now, these things go, they seem to be streaky. So eventually it's going to turn the other way. But is it going to turn the other way now? That's the question.
Hey, man, I'll be the first. I'll be the first to say, man. And it's why it's almost like a respect thing. It's why I hate the Eagles more so than any other team in this division, because since I've been watching, they've owned us. I'll be the first to tell you that. And I think a lot of Giants fans are looking forward to now that it should be starting to sway that way. But like you said, even when the Giants are bad and the Eagles are good, it's always close. And the Giants always have that chance to win the game. And, in recent times, they've found a way to lose it. So I agree with you. Until such time we start beating you guys regularly, it's going to be in the back of my head that, this is not a gimme game. This is going to be a tough opponent. Last year we should have swept you had Evan Ingram held on to the freaking football. But
classic Eagle Giants, though, right?
Yeah,
You always have something weird happen that goes against you guys. It always. You know?
No, I agree. I agree with you. You guys could be fielding a high school football team, and I still wouldn't think it's a gimme. I wouldn't think it's a gimme because we always find a way. You go back 2 years ago when Barkley was in his rookie year, 2018. We had like a 10-point lead, whatever it was before the half. Barkley was running all over you guys, and then Eli throws the interception right before the half, trying to force it to Beckham. And even the year before that, when you guys won the Super Bowl, I think we could have won both games if I remember correctly. I think you guys blocked a number of field goals or something like that.
We hit that 60-something yarder on you. Was 62 yarder or whatever?
Yeah, and we were horrible that year, and it was still close, but we just find ways to lose against you guys. It's heartbreaking. It's why I can't stand your football team. But I'm not taking you guys lightly. I think we're a better team, but I'm not taking you guys lightly going into the year.
Well, I think that I respect you because you hate us. I respect the hate. You know what I mean? Cruising, thank you for super chat. Big Blue will own the Eagles in coming years. I think you've been saying that for like years, Cruising. I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it, Ralph. But so what have you thought about the Giants off season? Because I think you guys have had a great off season. What are your thoughts on what you saw? Yeah,
I mean, I know a lot of Giants fans have nightmares about what happened in 2016 when we went out there and we spent like lunatics coming off the poor. 2015 we had a really good offense and we had a horrible defense. Then we fire Coughlin, we keep Reese, and then we spend a boatload in free agency. We draft Eli Apple, try to bulk up the defense. We bring in Olivier Vernon, we bring in Janoris Jenkins, we bring in Snacks Harrison, and we had that one good year where we went 11-5 against a soft schedule, and then it kind of just killed us going forward. It killed our cap space. So I think a lot of Giants fans are kind of like excited, but at the same time, they're kind of cautious because they see what spending big in free agency did long term. But I think it's a completely different situation this time around because you've got Daniel Jones on the rookie salary.
Right.
And when you have a quarterback on the rookie salary, that's when you want to be aggressive. That's when you want to try to take advantage, kind of like you guys did with Wentz. It's just that it backfired in the end, but you got to take that shot. You got to give your quarterback, while he's on the rookie salary, the best opportunity to prove whether or not he's that guy and is going to be worthy of that second contract. So I actually applaud the Giants for being aggressive this offseason. I think it gave them a lot of freedom in the first round of this year's draft. They filled in our two biggest needs. They brought in Adoree Jackson. We needed a second corner, and they brought in Kenny Golladay, who is a huge upgrade of what we had at the wide receiver position. Also, Kyle Rudolph is someone that I think some people may be sleeping on. I think he fits this scheme very well. He's kind of like that Jason Witten-like tight end that they have with Garrett in Dallas. And I think we made a couple of other really nice small signings, low risk, high reward guys like John Ross, guys like Ifeadi Adenabo. Reggie Ragland, I thought was a solid small term signing. So overall, I thought the Giants had a really strong free agency period.
Right. Yeah. No, I think so too. The one that really hurt me was the Adoree Jackson signing because I wanted him. I wanted that guy. 25 years old, very talented, and I think especially as a cornerback number 2, I think he could be a steal. I think that was a huge pickup for you guys, man. I really like that pickup. It bothers me, Corey says, why 1 minute slow mode 500? I didn't know I could change the timing till right before the stream. Chris said you could change it. So I think I just changed it to 5 seconds. So we'll see.
You did. I just saw it. So now it's only 5 seconds.
So now you guys can stop your bitching. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, but I agree. I said it all season last year about Adoree Jackson. We run a scheme. Our defense specifically runs a scheme where you want to blitz a ton, and we didn't really do it last year because we couldn't trust our second cornerback. We had Bradbury. We had nobody else. Isaac Yiadom was bad. We didn't have that answer on the second side. I think now that we added Adoree Jackson, who's a very solid corner, to already a very strong safety group, we have a very good secondary now. I think the Giants will be able to trust their corners on an island, and they're going to be able to send the dogs a lot more than they did last year. We'll get more pressure on the quarterback. So I think it's going to allow our defense to be much more aggressive. I was very excited. Matter of fact, I almost want to go as far to say that I think the Adoree Jackson signing, if he could stay healthy, might have a bigger impact on this team than the Kenny Golladay signing.
Yeah, I think there could be a lot of truth to that. I think that was a really good sign. I was just hoping, praying, like, please get by the Giants, please get by. But you knew it wasn't, Timothy Looper, hello, Philly, from an old Cowboy fan from Terrell, Texas. What's up, Timothy Looper? Good to see you, man. Cruiser, thanks for the super chat. He says, Chris, if Fields falls to 11, do we draft him? Interesting.
I've actually been asked that question by a couple of people, Cruz on. My answer is no. I think we need to continue to build around Jones and find out whether or not he's the guy. I like Justin Fields. He's a good quarterback prospect, not taking anything away from him. He's super athletic. I think he ran a 4.4, was really good at Ohio State. But the way I look at Justin Fields, I don't view him as like a once every draft type quarterback, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. So I'd rather continue to evaluate Daniel Jones and see with the proper pieces around him whether or not we could build and see if we have something. Because you're still on the hook for Jones anyway. You're paying him $8 million this year. You're going to have, so I know you'd be able to trade him maybe, but I don't think Jones has much trade value right now coming off the year that he did, making the money that he's making. So I would sooner try to bulk up this team, see what we have in Daniel Jones, see if he takes that year 3 leap, kind of like Baker Mayfield did last year. And if he doesn't, well, that's when you're in a market for a quarterback next year. But the only quarterback in this year's draft, in my opinion, that is like a once in every 5 years type quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. And we're not getting him. So I would sooner just try to continue to build this team around Jones and find that if you have the quarterback, and if he's not, then the next quarterback coming in is going to come into a much better situation than Jones inherited. So
the verdict's still out on Jones, in your opinion?
The verdict's always been out on Jones for me. I
remember draft night.
but a lot of Giants content creators came out after that, and it's so funny to me, Philly, because when people come on my channel, half the people will tell me I hate Daniel Jones. And half the people will tell me I'm a Daniel Jones apologist because the fan base is so divided and they want to feel one way or the other. That's the way the NFL is now at the quarterback position. They don't want to wait and see how he grows as a quarterback. So I'm neither. I'm not a guy that comes on here and says Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback, Danny Dimes, he's going to throw 40 touchdowns. But I'm also a guy that says, well, yeah, Daniel Jones has gone through 2 different schemes in 2 years. He had no preseason. He had a bad offensive line last year. Saquon Barkley went down week 2. We didn't have a number 1 wide receiver. So I'd say let's give him the pieces that he needs to be successful. And if he's not successful, then we have our answer. But in my opinion, we don't have our answer yet.
So make or break year, think, for him? Because he's got an extension coming up, right? He should have that coming up, after this year, right? He can be extended technically?
I think it's now when I say make or break year for Jones this year, I don't think he doesn't need to be a finished product for me. Like I don't need 35, 40 touchdowns, but I need to see a big step up and I need to see him start to beat good teams and come up big in big moments. So I don't need to know he's a franchise quarterback by year's end, but I need to see it start to trend that way.
Right. You need to see him take that next step.
Yeah.
I hear you. Mike Nixon, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, look at these 2 lunatics. How you doing, Philly? Much love, buddy. Much love to you, my man. Good to see you. We are lunatics. No question. Speaking of lunatics, I got to ask you this. Have you been reinstated at SeaWorld yet? Can you go to Chris is banned from SeaWorld, just for you guys. I won't get into why. Well,
I tell you what, as soon as I get on the airplane, once I get the shots, I'm actually supposed to get my shot in about a week. I think Wednesday. So then I got to wait for the second shot 3 weeks later. As soon as I get that second shot, I'm going to take a plane trip to Florida. I'm going to try to get into SeaWorld, and I'll let you know how it plays out.
You got to let me know. Film it. Film it. Like 100 feet away from all dolphins, right? Now, if you guys look, Chris is great, man. We've been friends for a while. We've done things before on his channel. It's the first time I've had him on my channel, so I'm very excited. If you guys haven't, and I don't know why you wouldn't have, but if you haven't, click the link in the description. Go sub him up. Make sure you sub. I promise you, you're always going to be entertained. You're going to love it. That's why he's the entertainer. I even did a song for him. His song's hardest to remember, though.
It was a great song, though.
It was.
It got a nomination, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Yours definitely got a nomination. Video of the year, actually. That was video of the year with the dolphins and the beach and all that. Wait till it comes to iTunes. Hey, Seuss, thank you for super chat, my man. He says, I don't know how many stupid drafts Howie makes. As long as we have Mr. GOAT, a.k.a. Jalen Hurts, everything will be okay. In Hurts, we trust. Thank you, Jesus, man. Look, I'm excited. My perspective on Hurts is that I'm excited to see what he could do. I thought he played really good, even though we didn't win a lot. I really liked a lot of things, like his poise. I like his character. I like his work ethic. And I want to see what he can do. I'm excited to see what he can do, but I can't hand the franchise keys over till I see a lot more. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I am. So to me, I want to see. He doesn't have to prove to be a franchise guy like Daniel Jones for you, but I need to see him take a step forward because we'll potentially have 3 number ones next year. Well,
this is what I like about the fact that you were able to accumulate by trading down this year. I know a lot of Eagles fans are upset about that because you gave up the possibility potentially of getting Pitts or maybe Jamar Chase. But the reason I like that, I don't like it as a Giants fan, but if I was an Eagles fan, the reason I like that is I feel like it's almost insurance for Jalen Hurts. Like if Jalen Hurts, like you said, you have to evaluate him this year. If Jalen Hurts throws 52% again this year and your team is lousy and you feel like he's not the guy going forward, there's nothing that's committing you to keeping him. He's not making a lot. He was a second-round pick. And I look at it like because you got 3 first-round picks next year now. So it's almost insurance. If you need to move up and get a quarterback, you could couple some of those picks and go up and get your next, what you hope is your franchise quarterback. So I think that was just as much of a reason for you guys to trade down this year as anything else. It's almost insurance for Hurts if he's not the guy. And it also gives you, if he is the guy, it gives you 3 first-round picks to build around him next year. So as a Giants fan, I actually think it was the right move for the Eagles to make the trade down.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it because I understand why you do it. I understand it. But when I see a guy like a Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts, who I think one of them will fall to 6, I have a hard time wanting to pass up that kind of talent because it's so rare to get. But I do understand wanting to have more picks and things like that. But if you don't execute the pick, if Howie Roseman doesn't execute it, it doesn't matter. That's what scares me because his track record is not the best. And it feels like if you stayed at 6, you're going to have Chase Pitts. One of them you just take, and it's like take the thought process out of Howie Roseman. Is my philosophy.
You're a big you're a big Pitts fan.
I think Pitts could be literally the best player in this draft.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I love Pitts. I love Pitts.
Where do you think Pitts is going to go?
I think he could go as early as Atlanta.
Yeah,
and I think he could go high as 8. I think if he goes to 8, it has to happen. The Eagles have to jump up. They have a lot of ammo. You have to go from 12 to 8 and prevent him from possibly reaching Dallas or the Giants. I cannot have you guys with Pitts or we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I was talking to a Dallas YouTuber the other day. Do you think it's as good as Pitts is? I don't even think Pitts is the right pick for them. Do you think it would be a good pick for Dallas to take him with all the weapons they already have and all the holes on their defense?
Probably not. But I think they would do it. I think Jerry Jones,
they proved last year they would with CeeDee Lamb.
I think they'll do it. Right. Luke's of Hazard, man. Thank you for super chat. He says, if Eagles draft someone out of the SEC, I will be happy. No complaints if we land Parsons, though. No, I love Parsons. Believe me, Parsons would be great.
Yeah.
No question about it.
I'm a huge Parsons fan.
Yeah. Jeremiah Butler, man. Thank you for super chat. What up, peeps? Giants stink. Yes, sub and like them both. That's right. Click the link in the description. Sub up my man Entertainah. You're not going to be disappointed. I just think Pitts. I really think the 2 non-quarterbacks, the 2 guys who could be the best in this whole draft class is Kyle Pitts and Penny Sewell. Yeah. Those I think are the 2 guys to me that they're no-brainers. And I think Jamar Chase isn't far behind. And it's Parsons I like, but I'll tell you what, I like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah even more.
You like him more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that guy's definitely a special talent.
The
thing with Sewell that I'm seeing, and it's funny season right now. You're going to start to get rumors. You're going to start to get people overreacting to things. But Sewell's his arms measured, I think, like 33 inches, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, could he drop? Because teams feel like his arm like maybe too short. And as a Giants, and I'm sitting over here like this, I'm like, please Please drop to number 11 overall.
I know.
Penei Sewell to me is a no-brainer. I think he's been a guy. Look, the guy's 330 pounds. The guy could move. He's powerful. Yeah, I know that people say and I'm not a film guy, but I know that people say he's not the most technically advanced guy at this point in time. But with the physical tools that he has, the things that people say about him, if you have good coaching, he could be an all-pro lineman.
Yeah.
So I'm as a Giant fan, please drop. And I know most Giant fans, and I think it's most fans in general, because I get it. offensive linemen don't score touchdowns.
Yeah.
Wide receivers do. They're the fantasy football. They're the flashy position. You're not going to buy a jersey of Penei Sewell. Most Giant fans want to take the wide receiver, but me, if you get Penei Sewell, man, you don't even think twice.
I agree. He's the one guy that I would have considered over Pitts was Penei Sewell. When we were at 6, I told people because I just think he's a guy you put in and you don't worry about it for another 10, 15 years, that position. I like him a lot. And I thought he had a pretty good pro day from everything I saw, He looked like he had a pretty good pro day. And so, I like him. I'll tell you another guy, speaking of, guys who get a lot of maybe, a lot of crap. I think Devontae Smith is a really, really good wide receiver. And I think he's going to be very, very good. And I think a lot of people, because of his weight, they crap on him. And I think he's going to be a stud. If he's available, I'm taking him.
I'll tell you what, man. I think, and I've thought this now for 2 months, I think Devontae Smith is going to be there when we pick. And if the Giants pass on him, I think he'll be an Eagle. But I really think Devontae Smith is going to get to 11 because I look at the draft board right now. I think 4 quarterbacks are going in the first 4 picks. And I don't know if Atlanta's going to take a quarterback. Maybe they trade out, but regardless, I think 4 quarterbers are going in the first 4 picks.
Which quarterbacks do you think is going to go?
I'm starting to believe in the Mac Jones hype.
Really?
Now, if the San Francisco 49ers traded up from 12 to 3 and gave up 3 first-round picks for a quarterback that has a dad bod in today's day and age, I have to seriously question it. But I believe it. I believe that there's at least significant interest there. I'm not saying they're definitely going to take him, but Justin Fields and Mac Jones had pro days on the same exact day. And the 49ers GM and head coach went to see Mac Jones. They didn't go to see Justin Fields. And I think I've read articles that Shanahan and Jones have ties. I think there's at least interest there with Mac Jones to the 49ers.
That surprises me, really. Yeah. If Mac Jones goes like that early, that would be shocking. I would say then I think 5 quarterbacks are going in the top 10.
I agree. Which is great news for both of us.
Well, it'd be great. It'd be great, because I think if you figure the Atlanta pick is, I'm really not sure what they're going to do. I could see them taking a quarterback. I could also see them taking Kyle Pitts. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I think you're going to have at least 4 quarterbacks at the very least go in the first round or in the top 10. So that should help us. That should drop Devontae Smith or somebody like that. I think Chase is going to Miami. I think that's locked unless somebody takes him early. I'm not sure what the Lions seem like they could go in a couple different directions. Same with Denver. Yeah. So we have to see how it plays out. But I think you're right. I think there's a good chance Devontae Smith will follow the Eagles at 12 or 11 to the Giants. It's just will they pull the trigger? If you guys get Devontae Smith, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be really pissed off. Now,
I think we should go line. I've said that countless times. I do not think we're going to go line. Joe Judge and the New York Giants, they've gone to like 4 different pro days now where Joe Judge has been in attendance, and all 4 of those pro days have been edge rushers. They went to the Penn State for Micah Parsons. He's a linebacker, but a lot of people feel he can play off the edge. I think they went to Georgia with Olajari. They went to Miami with their 2 edge rushers with Phillips and Rousseau. So a lot of people are starting to believe they may be thinking edge rusher. And it was rumored that they were looking to spend big money in free agency on the edge rusher that ended up, I think, with the Bears. What's his name? Regardless, they were looking to spend. Who was it? Who? No, not Mac. Not Mac. I don't know why the names escaped me, but they were looking to spend big money on an edge rusher free agency, and they missed out on him. So I'm starting to think that they may be leaning that way, and I personally think that's the wrong decision. I would rather go offensive line or wide receiver, but I do think it's possible we could be going with an edge at 11.
Wow. I told you this before. It wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles go defensive line.
Leonard Floyd, by the way.
Leonard Floyd. Okay, yeah. Because the Eagles, that's typically in between 12 and 15, they go defensive line. Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. You figure Brandon Graham's old. He's got a year or 2 left. And Derek Barnett's $10 million. I don't know if he's worth it. So they may look at it that way. The Eagles value, much like the Giants, I think, value defensive line a lot. That's basically what they build their defense around. So It wouldn't surprise me if they do that either. Meat Church, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tana, Gino cheesesteak versus Katz pastrami on rye. Got to go cheesesteak.
You know I'm going New York.
You got to go cheesesteak.
You know I'm going New York, my man. No, I actually love both.
Yeah,
I'm a big pastrami on rye guy, Katz's Deli, but listen, I've been to Philly several times, and I actually prefer Pat's to Geno's. But I love both of them, but I actually prefer Pat's to Geno's.
Yeah, I like some of the other ones. I like Tony Luke's. That's where I used to eat every day. Yeah. Tony Luke's. But I think the roast pork sandwich with the broccoli rab and the sharp provolone.
I remember you telling me that.
That is better than that's what I get more than a cheesesteak. So, it is what it is. So what do you think about Dallas and Washington? We haven't talked about them, but I want to know your thoughts on what they did this offseason. And what do you think? Basically.
Yeah. Dallas, I mean, they didn't do much other than bring Dak back. They made a couple of small signings other than that. They didn't have a lot of money, but I think that they were forced. They were going. Here's the issue I have with Dallas and how they handled the Dak situation.
Dolphin love is taboo, by the way.
That's the name of the song. That's right. No, but it was inevitable they were going to bring Dak back. Like, we've known this for like 3 years. I think where Dallas screwed up was they should have did it 2 or 3 years ago, because now the market has just gone up, and now you have to pay him off a year in which he came off a season-ending injury. So you don't know if you're going to get the same level of production with him coming off that injury. You hope you will, but they gave him a ton of money. I think he goes like $42 and $47 million against the cap the last 2 years of that 4-year contract.
Yeah.
But I can't kill them for that. He is a good quarterback. I'm not saying I personally don't think he's a top 5, but he's a good quarterback.
Would you, if you were the Giants? I mean, if you were the Cowboys, would you have signed him? I don't think they had a choice, personally.
I don't think they had a choice. Here's what I would have done. I would have did it 2 years ago.
Right.
And if I didn't do it 2 years ago, I probably would have tagged him again. I don't think I would have given him the extension off the injury. I probably would have tagged him again and given him a 1-year commitment. Now, I understand why they probably couldn't tag him, because of the salary cap, and you can't maneuver that money if you give him a franchise tag.
Right.
So I understand that, but I would have been reluctant to give him that 4-year extension for that kind of money off the injury, especially how poor the defense performed last year. But listen, man, it's rare that you see teams not give the quarterback. Like, Washington's an example where they didn't pay Cousins.
Right.
They franchise tagged him twice, but it's rare that you see that. So I'm not surprised at all that Dallas ultimately did it. But as far as Dallas as a team right now, I mean, I still respect them. They definitely got better over the second half of the season. And much like the Giants and much like Washington, they had the challenge, which I remember we talked about it last year going into the year. The Eagles had an advantage going in because all 3 other teams had a new coaching staff.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic and no preseason and everything else, Eagles had the familiarity. So they had to overcome that at the beginning. They had to overcome the Dak injury. And I actually thought Dallas finished relatively strong. Based off the way they looked over the first half of the season, and the defense actually got a little bit better. It's going to come down to Dak. It's going to come down to Dak and how good of a quarterback he could be. But I still respect them. I still think if he's healthy, I think they're an 8 or 9 win team. But do they scare me? No. Like between the Giants and Dallas, the way I look at it is, if our offense improves more than their defense improves, I think we're the better football team.
Right.
And I think it could. So they don't scare me. Washington, I think, had a great offseason. I really do. I think they had a great offseason. I love the Curtis Samuel signing. They made a couple of other really good signings. So I like what Washington did, but Fitzpatrick, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And he's a stopgap quarterback. I don't think he's a long-term answer. So that could go either way for me. I still think Washington has major question marks on the offensive line. And they didn't really address it. So I'm not too scared of them either. I think the Giants are right there. I really do. I think the Giants are right there with those teams.
Yeah, I respect that Dallas always stinks. That's what I respect about Dallas. They stink, and they're going to continue to stink. Washington, I think, is a little scary because I think they are a quarterback away from being really good. Fitzpatrick isn't the guy, though. He gets streaky and is like out of the world, and then he stinks. I mean, he's been 9 different teams. The guy's never won nothing. I don't worry about him. I don't. I think the Dak thing, Dallas thing, is if Dak is healthy when he comes back. That was a bad injury that he had. That was gruesome. Sometimes it takes you a year to come back from things like that. So I have to see what he's going to do. Bobby Murphy says, Giants 1-7 versus our Birds. Don't sing it, bring it, Chris. And all your injury-prone free agents, cheers, buddy.
Hey, I get. Listen, you're an Eagles fan. You're supposed to come at me. I respect it.
Yeah,
but you're right, man. He's right, Bobby Murphy. The Giants took a risk. I'm not going to tell you they didn't. But as a Giants fan, I think it was the time to take the risk because, like I said earlier, Daniel Jones on his rookie salary. You can't. You have to eventually try to accelerate this process, and we have to be able to evaluate our quarterback. So we did sign injury-prone players. I'll be the first to say it. And if they, a lot of people have asked me, what's my biggest worry going into this year? What scares me the most? There are two things that scare me the most on this team right now. I look at our roster. I think our defense is good. Whether or not we get an edge rusher, I think our defense is legit if we stay healthy. The corners, our secondary as a whole, when you factor in Xavier McKinney, Jabril Peppers, Logan Ryan, and now Adoree Jackson and James Bradbury. Yeah. I think our secondary could go up against almost any secondary in the league. I think we have a really good secondary. Our defensive line, bringing back Leonard Williams, I think Dexter Lawrence is only going to improve. I think we have a really good defensive line. Blake Martinez, a really good middle linebacker. I think our defense is legit. And if we had an edge rusher that's good in the draft, it could be top 3 or 4 in the league. That's how good I think our defense could potentially be. And I think Patrick Graham's a great defensive coordinator. Our offense, we'll see. I still have my questions with Daniel Jones, and I definitely have my questions with the offensive line. I think our weapons with Barkley coming back, getting Golladay, getting Ross, the other thing I always say, it's going to make the other receivers better. Yeah. Because now Slayton is not getting number 1 coverage. Right. Now Shepard's in the slot. So I'm not too worried about our weapons. I know a lot of Giants fans want to go out there. They want to get another weapon. And it would make us even better, I guess, in terms of the weaponry department. But the two things I worry about the most as a Giants fan going into the year, one is the offensive line. That's been my worry for the last 10 years. Daniel Jones has been sacked 83 times at 26 starts, which is horrible. And then the other thing that I definitely worry about is the health, which is what he alluded to. You look at this roster. Jones has missed 4 games in his first 2 years. Saquon Barkley's missed, 18 games over the last 2 years. And he's coming up a bad ACL injury. Kenny Golladay only played 5 games last year. Adoree Jackson has an injury history. So, I think that's fair to point out if you're an Eagle fan.
Well, yeah, but I think, for us to point that out is great, but we have the same. I mean, look at our injuries. Yeah. We get decimated by injuries every year. So I know what you're feeling. No doubt about it. I like your defense. I tell you what, I'll be honest. I mean, I've said this. I thought that Joe Judge hiring was the best hiring in the NFC East 2 years ago when you guys hired him. I like him as a coach. I thought that was the way to go. And I don't think he disappointed anybody, really. I really thought that was a good hire by the Giants. No question about it. Jeremiah Butler, thank you for the super chat. The only edge we should get in the first is Parsons. He's a jack linebacker. He's a stud. He's a stud. No question about it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Parsons. The only thing I worry about with Parsons is the character concerns. There's reports about that. But in terms of a player, that's the type of guy he would fit our scheme beautifully. But going back to what you said, I remember you said that last year when you were on my channel. You said you loved the Joe Judge hire. You thought he'd be a great coach, and so far you look really good with that. So, I think Joe Judge is what gives me more confidence than anything else that the Giants, now that you've added some talent, there's more familiarity. If we stay healthy, we're going to be right in the thick of it. I think Joe Judge is a really good coach. What do you think about your new head coach? I don't know a lot about him.
I love him. I love everything that I hear about him. Now, he's got to get on the field and play, but I think he sounds like he's a very good developer of young talent. And that's supposed to be one of his strengths, and you've had Doug Peterson, some of these picks that we've had, they just don't develop them. They were not developing the guys. And then you'd see like Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones. These guys leave and then they go somewhere else and they're starting and they're playing well. Yeah. So I think that was really one of Doug's weaknesses. This is supposed to be a strength to him. He's got me very excited, dude. He brings a lot of fresh energy. Now we got a lot of young coaches and things like that, but I initially, when they hired him, I thought he was coming in to fix Carson because he was coming from Indianapolis.
Right.
But it didn't work out that way. But he gets me pumped up. Like when I hear him talk, I'm ready to run through a wall for the guy.
Really?
Yeah. He gets me pumped up. Even though his first press conference,
I was gonna say, because that's all I know,
was not good. I mean, he was nervous, but I didn't worry about that. But everything else I've heard, I'm ready to play for him. So yeah, I really like him. I view that hire on the same level as the Joe Judge hire. I am. I like when teams don't just bring in recycled coaches.
Yeah.
I hate recycling coaches. I want to see new minds, new thoughts, new guys. So I'm excited about him. Out of everything that's happened for us this year, the thing I'm most excited about is this new coaching staff.
Yeah, that I'm with you on that. You know, and I'll be the first to say I was definitely into Ron Rivera last year during the coaching search before he quickly signed on with Washington, before we even had a chance to interview him. And I was definitely very much high on Matt Rule. Obviously, I didn't know a ton about Joe Judge. I did some research when I heard we were interviewing him. But I'm with you, man. I would sooner rather go after a non-refurb head coach, a guy with a new, fresh mind, a guy that's going to bring energy into the building. I'm completely with you on that. I think that is the way to go, especially in the modern day NFL.
I do too, because I think too many times teams just recycle the same guys and nothing really changes. I mean, once in a while you get a guy like Andy Reid who goes from Philly to Kansas and then he wins, but it doesn't seem like it happens a lot, you know.
Andy Reid, and I'll be the first to tell you, man, and I don't know how you feel about him as an Eagles fan. I think, and I always said this long before he won his Super Bowl with the Chiefs, I think he's the second best head coach since I've been watching football. I've always respected Andy Reid. When he was I was so happy with. I know why you guys got rid of him. You guys had a horrible year. You had, you failed with the.
It was a long time too.
And you guys were losing in championship games, the Super Bowl, everything else. But I think Andy Reid is a terrific coach. I don't think, but the thing is, coaches like him don't grow on trees.
No, they don't grow.
So it's very rare. He's a rare exception where you find refurbs that when they go to another location. I could point out, you look at Pat Shermer with the Giants. I mean, but you can look at so many that more often than not, they don't succeed.
Yeah, I agree. Sarah, she says, Nick Sirianni is amazing, and I'm a Colts fan, and we will miss him. Yeah, I knew you were a Colts fan, so I wanted to put that up there because, you definitely, G, thank you for the super chat. Would you take Rashad Bateman with the first-round pick and go cornerback, or just go cornerback in the first and try to get Marshall Jr. or Bateman if they slip to the second? Appreciate the super chat. I'll say this. I like Marshall Jr. better than I like Bateman. I may not be in the minority. I may be in the minority on that. I do. So I wouldn't take Bateman in the first round. Cornerback, if you're talking J.C. Horn, I'm in. He's like my favorite corner. Yeah, he's my favorite corner. So I'm okay with that. If it came to that, but if I had to do it, I would take Horn and then Marshall Jr. in the second before I would take Bateman in the first. What are your thoughts on Bateman and stuff?
I like Bateman. I think Bateman's a good wide receiver, but I think he definitely got overhyped a bit because he was kind of like one of the first big names to have their pro day. And then he ran the 4.39, which is probably more like a 5.5 with some of these pro day times, the way that you see some of these. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I think people got a little overhyped with him. But I do think he's a pretty complete wide receiver. He's 6'2", pretty good route runner. It depends on what you're looking for. Like Marshall to me is that jump ball guy, that 6'4" receiver that can go up and get it in the red zone. So he's kind of what you guys probably envision Alshon Jeffrey would be, who obviously didn't work out a lot due to injuries and things like that. Yeah. But it depends on what you're looking for. Like different teams are looking for different kinds of wide receivers. Yeah. I think they're not too similar, but I think they're both good wide receiver prospects.
Yeah. No, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do like Bateman. I like Marshall a little better. I do. Jeremiah don't agree with me. He says, hell no, 500. We had Marshall before. His name was Aguilar. I don't see Aguilar and Marshall as the same
All right, I got to ask you that because I know for a fact you were the biggest, and not just you, Eagles fans in general. You guys hated Nelson Aguilar because he dropped everything. But how did it feel last year to see him he went to the Raiders, right? To see him go to the Las Vegas Raiders and have the year that he had, and now he gets paid. I couldn't believe what New England paid that guy.
Oh, my gosh.
They gave him $13 million a year, didn't they?
I don't. Yeah, he got ridiculous amount of money. I think that was the worst signing in the whole season.
I thought the same thing. I said, how did he get that kind of money?
He stinks. Let me tell you.
He got more than Samuel did.
Every week during my live streams, people would comment, Nelson Aguilar just caught another touchdown. Nelson Aguilar just caught catch. And I would say this, and I still say this about Nelson Aguilar. He is one drop away from losing it up here. He is mental. when he drops a ball in a tough situation, he gets down on himself. It's over. He becomes horrendous, but physically, tool-wise, he has talent.
Yeah.
But up here, when he does something really that hurts the team, it just carries over all season. So I don't want anything to do with him. I don't care if he catches 500 balls in a season. I don't care. He stinks, in my opinion. And he drives me nuts. And every time I think of Nelson Aguilar, I think of Monday Night Football, Eagles down late in the game, Carson Wentz with a chance for an amazing comeback, hits a wide open Nelson Aguilar, should walk in the end zone, and it goes right through his hands. I can't let it go. Can't let it go.
I got a question about your first round pick last year, because I honestly don't know a ton about him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Reagor this year?
Well, one thing I think Reagor is talented. I think that the Eagles, I don't think they used him right. Even as a rookie, I know he was injured and stuff, but I would have liked to see him more in special teams, doing punt returns, things like that. I think he's talented. I think they're going to move him to the slot, which concerns me a little bit because I really wanted him to be that outside speed wide receiver. But I think a lot of people have crapped on Jalen Reagor. I can't do it. I still believe in him. I still got to give him a chance. Sometimes I look at players in their rookie years as a starting point, not necessarily. A lot of people say, "Oh, he stinks. Look how bad his rookie year was. Look how good Justin Jefferson." Sometimes you have to have a starting point, and so I want to see what he can do this year. I'm hopeful. But I don't know.
Same thing happened for me. The same thing happened for me as a Giants fan. Andrew Thomas, Thomas started out really poorly the first 8 games. And obviously we fired Mark Colombo mid-season because Joe Judge obviously didn't feel like he was doing a good job. In the second 8 games, he looked a lot better. But for the first 8 games, you go back, look at the comments on my videos over the first half of the season. Giants fans were saying, cut this guy. This guy's the next Eric Flowers. Football fans are reactionary. They want instant results. But like you just said with Reagor, it's the same thing with Thomas. You got to give these guys some time to develop.
Got to.
And but I actually like Thomas. I think Thomas finished really strongly. But it was the same thing. Giants fans were definitely jumping all over that pick the first half of the year.
Yeah. But I still think I don't know that Reagor is a number one. I still think they need that guy. That they need that Devontae Smith guy, somebody who I think is going to be a one. If they were picking 6 and they could have got Jamar Chase, it would have been perfect. I tell you this though, and Eagle Slayer here says it. I'm not high on Reagor. I'm higher on Reagor than you, but he actually likes Watkins. Quez Watkins is the guy I think is going to make a big impact for the Eagles at wide receiver. I really like him. When he got a chance to play last year, he was really, really good. He didn't get a lot of opportunity. Part of that is Doug Peterson, his philosophy, playing some of these young guys, and development. I think Watkins may be a starting outside receiver this year.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I called a lot of Eagles games last year. I don't know what your head coach was thinking. I'd be watching these games, and I swear to God, I felt like the guy was addicted to going for 2. It was like a drug addiction. I felt like if you guys tied the game with no time left in the fourth quarter, he would go for 2. That's how addicted he was. So he would do things that it made no sense to me. But one thing that made almost no sense to me at all, Travis Fulgham, and again, I don't watch every Eagle game.
Right.
Travis Fulgham was playing very well for you guys.
Oh, I know.
And then he took him out of the lineup.
I know, because Alshon came back.
But why would you do that?
I don't know. I don't understand it. This is what I'm talking about. I think this was a big problem. He didn't develop those younger guys. He always seemed to trust the veterans way more. And Fulgham had a couple weeks where he was tearing it up. And then they just cut his reps back. And then when he got a chance to play again, he wasn't the same guy. Yeah. It's weird, but they do that. They do that a lot. I don't get it. It's like Jason Peters keeps getting hurt. He's not as good as he used to be, right? Jordan Mailata comes in left tackle, is killing it. I mean, killing it at left tackle. As soon as Peters is ready, they bring him, they start him again. And then you have the same problems at left tackle you had all year. It's like, why would you take Jordan Mailata out? He's a young left tackle playing way better than 37, 38-year-old Jason Peters. I don't understand. I don't get it. Nitro Freak says Jalen Reagor is going to be very good. I hope so. I mean, I think we got to give Reagor time. No question about it.
What's going on, Nitro Freak?
I there's a lot of things that Doug did that really drove me nuts. The 2-point conversion. I think if he wouldn't have done a couple of those, we would have won the division because we could have won a couple extra games. Those cost us literally a couple games. And then you look at the last game of the season with the whole, the whole tank thing, right? Which I don't call it a tank because it was one half a game. I have no problem with what the Eagles were trying to do, but I don't like the execution. They should have came out and said, you know what, we're going to start we're going to start Nate Sudfeld this week because we need tape of him. This is an opportunity for him to play, and we're going to take a look at some of these other guys. They should have handled it that way from the get-go. To put Hurts in and then take him out at the end of the half, I thought was a mistake.
Yeah, here's my take on that. And obviously, as Giants fans, we were all pissed. But we put ourselves in that situation. We didn't deserve to make the playoffs. I'll be the first to say it. We lost, I think it was 3 straight down the stretch to better opponents, the Cardinals, the Ravens, whatever it was. So I'm not saying that the Eagles cost us the playoffs, but I think that the way that they handled it was completely wrong. Like right. You said, I wouldn't have been as upset as a Giants fan if, like you said, Sudfeld would have just started the game. But the fact that in a tight game like that, you pull out your quarterback. Not that he wasn't even playing that great, but he was obviously much more of a threat than Sudfeld. It just it just made it so obvious what you guys were doing. Yeah. And so I think Giants fans got pissed off about that, and it is what it is. I think it's going to add to the rivalry, and I think it's going to make it for a very fun season this year. And hopefully, as a Giants fan, we use that as motivation and ammunition going into this year against you guys. That's what I'm hoping for.
I hope we get you week 1. Up at your home, I want week 1 the Giants.
I want week 1 the Eagles
because I want Pizzle crying. Because the one good thing about this offseason is he's still bitching about it like a baby, and I'm going to get his ass on here because he's still crying about it. We got 366 people in here. Please please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and click the link in the description. Make sure you sub up my man Entertainah Talking Sports. Jeremiah Butler, thank you for super chat. He says, money talks. I don't think that was Doug's decision. It might not have been, but Doug got blamed for it. Doug got blamed for a lot of these decisions that some people say wasn't him. I mean, there's a lot of weird things that went on, Entertainah, with the Eagles. Like we still don't really know what happened with Carson Wentz and that whole situation. There are reports that him and Doug didn't like each other. Then there's reports that it's him and Howie Roseman. We don't know. And then at the press conference that the Colts had for Carson, they didn't even want the Philly media to ask questions.
Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that Doug Peterson is the fall guy. I think ownership was 100%. You don't just do that as a head coach. You don't. I think ownership has to approve of what the Philadelphia Eagles did Week 17. There is no doubt in my mind that ownership was completely on board with the Eagles intentionally losing that football game or attempting to lose that football game. And maybe they didn't think it would get as much scrutiny as it did, being that it was on national television. And the players came out and showed their frustration, how hard they worked. Kelsey, everybody else, they were really upset at the end of the game. And then at the end of that, I think that ownership wiped their hands clean and Peterson took the fall. But there's no doubt in my mind that Eagles ownership was as behind that as anybody else.
Hey, when's the last year the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl? Was it 95?
Yeah, it was almost in diapers.
95.
I was
so
10.
It was like 95, and Albert was born in 98. 5 rings, they dusty it, but if you all still aren't even close, but you probably never watched one of those Super Bowls. I watched it.
Listen, Philly 500. You could say to that Cowboys fan, we've won more playoff games in our last Super Bowl run than you've won since 1995.
I know, right?
My favorite Cowboy moment of all time is the 2007 divisional game against the New York Giants when I got to see Terrell Owens cry like a little bitch for about an hour after the game. That was terrific.
That's
his quarterback, one, Philly. Right? That's his quarterback, Philly.
His quarterback. I know. I really was. Oh, Albert saw 2. Okay, well, good. I saw 2 Buffalo and Steelers. Okay, so you've only seen one more than me. One more than me. Chris, you've seen it, what, at least 2, right?
I've been alive for all 4, but I was 1 for the first one. I don't count the first 2, so I've seen the other 2.
Yeah, there you go. So see, well, I really Dallas has no legs to stand on. Unless you're Mark Holmes and you're like 90 years old doing 80 videos a day about your love for Dak Prescott. Paul,
I tell Bad Dog this all the time about Mark Holmes. Why doesn't he just do the Truman Show thing? Why doesn't he just leave the? Why does he even stop the recording? I mean, the guy records 300 videos a day. Why not just leave it live for 24 hours? He might as well.
I know. He's such a nice guy though. I like.
Oh, he's a great guy.
I bust on him all like we go at it all the time, dude. You should see the texts that we go back and forth. People are like, "Oh, you guys doing this?" Like we're going at it on text all day. You know, I'm like, Mark, it's 2 minutes. You're gonna make another video now? Hey, Mark, 2 minutes is past.
Does Mark Holmes does he own a Dak Prescott jersey? Does he like Dak? I'm not sure yet.
He loves Dak.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, he loves him. Pause. I think you like I heard that he wants to name his son. He's trying to get Michael to change his name to Dak. It'll be Dak Anthony. Where's the fitness?
And his wife's name to Prescott.
There you go. Mark loves him, but he's a great guy though. He is. I like Mark. Hopefully I'll get him on when we do the Cowboy stuff. He's a great guy, but man, we go at it because we hate each other's teams.
Yeah,
you know. And for me, I always tell people I hate the Giants and Cowboys evenly. Like it just depends who's been more effective against us. You know what I mean? And for the last many years, we've kind of owned you guys. But if you remember the 90s, you guys beat us like 11 straight times.
Yeah,
I hated the Giants, could not stand them, and it's very streaky. So, you know, at some point this is going to turn around and you guys are going to own us for a while. This always happens, you know. Hopefully it's not happening yet. You know?
Yeah, for me it's the Eagles, and it's because of what you just said. I don't have bad memories against the Cowboys for the most part. I mean, when the games have been on the line, we've beaten the Cowboys. At least, you know, since I've been an adult watching the New York Giants. So to me, it's the Eagles, and it's not even close because my worst memories, not just as a football fan, as a sports fan, is due in large part to your football team. So
yeah,
to me, when anybody ever asks me who do you hate the most, it's the Eagles. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I'm perfectly okay with that. You know, I tell people all the time, I love Chris, I love Bad Dog, but I hate them Giants. I love Mark, hate them Cowboys. Yeah. You know, that's rivalry. You know, I need to get my belt back. Pizzle's got my belt, and it's irking me. All off season, it's bothering me.
I haven't seen it. He hasn't really been showing it lately.
No, I don't know what he's doing with that thing, man. Apparently, not very many good things. Not things I can talk about over the air. A lot of matrimonial duties and crap like that. I can't have it, man. I can't have it. So let me ask you this: so if you had to choose one player you would like to see in the first round, who would you like
for the Giants?
Yeah, for the Giants.
Are we all right? We're talking like best case scenario.
Your wishes. If you had your way, if you had to choose one guy, right? Let's say Pitts is off the board. Nothing ridiculous, but somebody who should be around there. Like
all right, the guy I'm hoping for, and it's because of the recent rumors about Penny Sewell. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Rashawn Slater goes above him. Some people seem to evaluate Rashawn Slater higher. And I'm hoping Penny Sewell falls to us at 11. That's what I'm hoping for. But realistically speaking, I think if you ask me who I think we're going to end up getting, I think it's going to be Devontae Smith. I really believe we're going to end up drafting Devontae Smith. But based off some of the things I've been hearing as of late, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's smoke, maybe it's maybe they will go offensive line. I can't see justifying taking an edge rusher at 11. Maybe they'll trade down. If they take an edge rusher at 11, I think it's a big reach. And I know a lot of the mocks have had the Giants doing that. So with that being said, if the Giants are happy with their offensive line and they don't think they need a first-round pick, I think Devontae Smith's going to be our pick.
That's going to piss me off because I like Devontae Smith. That when we were at 6, I said, I'll take one of these 4 guys. If Penny Sewell somehow fell, which I didn't think he would at the time, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, or Devontae Smith, I'm good with any of those 4 guys at 6.
Yeah.
So if he goes to 11 to you guys, that means we've lost out on any of the guys that I really, really wanted. You know, now I like Waddle. I do, but I like Devontae Smith better than Waddle. That's
See,
just
I'm
me.
actually the reverse. I like
Yeah.
Waddle better. I like Waddle
Do
better.
you? What do you like?
I like both, but I like
Yeah.
Waddle better.
Do you think Smith's size and weight is going to be an issue?
Maybe a little bit, but the thing is, if you have a good offensive play caller, you could find ways to work around that. You could put him in motion, you put him in the slot, you set picks, whatever it may be. The guy's a great route runner. He runs like a deer when you watch him on tape. He's got great hands. He's got great leaping ability. Yeah, he's got to bulk up a little bit. The guy looks like he weighs about 106 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah,
but I still think he's going to be a good player in the NFL.
So if Devontae Smith was 195 pounds at 200, would he be rated a lot higher than people have him now? Because I look at him and I say a guy who I think can go up to a high point, catch a ball, can catch in traffic, can run, like you said, really fast, a great route runner. I think that the only thing that really weighs him down is that weight. And if you take that away from him, I think he's one of the best guys. I got him just under Jamar Chase. Yeah,
I mean, I think he doesn't have blazing speed like you look at Waddle. I think Waddle's definitely got him in that department. Waddle was rated a better receiver before he got hurt, but you got the injury concerns there with Waddle. But the one thing I'll say about Devontae Smith, his best attribute, I think, is the most important attribute for an NFL wide receiver, and that's his route running. He's a really good route runner, and he's good at creating separation. So, the one thing I'll say though, when I watch a lot, and it's him and Waddle, I guess, when I watch a lot of the Alabama tape and highlights, those guys are running wide open.
I know,
and I think a lot of it has to do with the scheme. But they're I think both of them are still top end wide receiver prospects.
Yeah. Would you rather? So you rather the Giants take Waddle then over Smith?
Before free agency, I said that, and I still think I slightly prefer Waddle to Smith, but I think Smith might actually fit what we need better now than Waddle. So I might actually prefer Smith to Waddle now at this point in time after we got Kenny Golladay, because I feel like we need that route runner. We need that separator. We don't really have that on this team right now outside of maybe Shepard, but he's not that good at that.
You see Waddle as just like a speed guy kind of?
I don't think he's just a speed guy. Like a lot of people compare him to Henry Ruggs. I don't think he's just a speed guy. I think the guy, like you said, even though he's only 5'10" or 5'11", just like Smith, he's very good at high pointing the ball. And I think he's a much better route runner than people give him credit for. But I think Smith's better in that attribute.
Yeah. That's interesting. If you guys got him, that'd be something. I would think if Slater's there, that's where I think the Giants should go.
Great minds think alike.
You need to protect Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, the one issue is turns the ball over a lot, hits and gets hit, fumbles the ball. I think you need to protect him. But
great minds think alike, Philly, because I've been saying that on my channel now since free agency's been over. I've been Rashawn Slater. I've been dreaming about Rashawn Slater. I've been thinking about Rashawn Slater. You go on Twitter, Giants fans, they're killing me for that. On my channel, everybody seems to think we got to take a wide receiver, we got to take an edge rusher, we got to take Parsons. Great minds think alike, and a lot of the Giants content creators think that way too. Slater to me is the pick if he's there for the New York Giants. I know it's boring. I know that we took three linemen last year. Rashawn Slater, we talk about versatility for the New York Giants. That's like the common word that the Giants always use. This guy can play all five positions on the offensive line. This guy is a very athletic. He ran a 4.88 40 at his pro day. For an offensive lineman, that's ridiculous. Really he's supposed to have the best technique of any offensive lineman in this draft. I'm with you on that. Rashawn Slater is the guy that I want. I know most Giant fans probably don't, but he's the guy that I want.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. That's who I think the Giants should get. Now, if they get Devontae Smith, it's going to kill me. Because Devontae Smith at 12 right now is my number one choice. Unless you have a situation, like I say, where Pitts somehow falls to like 8. Then I'm moving up. I'm paying what it takes to get to 8, and I'm getting them. Because I don't think it would cost you a first-round pick. But I think you got to just go up and get him. You can't allow Dallas and the Giants to get him. So I'm hoping Devontae Smith, if he's gone, I would probably either Waddle or J.C. Horn, because I really like J.C. Horn a lot. To me, he's my number one corner. Now, a lot of Dallas fans, and I see in here, they think they're going to get J.C. Horn. I guess they assume to take him over Surtain, because I would think Surtain would be the guy that they want. But
see, the thing I'll say about Dallas, and I don't see anybody mocking this, and I definitely think they could go corner. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I'm not ruling out Slater for Dallas. I'm not ruling out Rashawn Slater for Dallas, because I think Dallas could definitely look to start to retool that offensive line. And like I said, that's a guy that's capable of playing all 5 spots on the line. I wouldn't rule it out. I think I'm favoring corner, but I wouldn't rule out offensive line for Dallas.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. So there's about 392 people here. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, and go click the link in the description. Sub up my man, the Entertainah. You will be entertained, I promise. Now, if you guys have any questions for Chris, fire it away. And I'll try to get to the ones.
No Dolphin questions.
No Dolphins questions. That's a little sensitive subject. We're trying to get him reinstated We're trying to get him reinstated into SeaWorld. It's been a long time since his teenage years. He hasn't been allowed in SeaWorld. This guy is banned from SeaWorld. And if you want to know why, you should just you should look up my music video of it, because there's a music video on it. You know what I mean? No question. Joseph Vega, King Dingbat, how are you? What's up, Joseph Vega? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Oh, Chris, they want to know about Nick DeWick wants to know about your sponsor, your channel.
Oh, it's Faruqi and Faruqi. Yeah, personal injury attorneys and any Eagles fans. Now, granted, guys, they only they take care of people only in the metropolitan area. It's all 5 boroughs in Long Island. But you guys come over to my channel this year. We're going to beat the hell out of you guys. So if you guys get the press watching the game, maybe you hurt yourself, they're personal injury lawyers. So you guys come to my channel, you click the link and check out the official sponsor, because you guys may need it this year. I know you guys are passionate, and I think the Giants they're gonna be beating up on you guys. So come over to the channel. I'll help you guys out.
So after basically you guys throw a couple Giant fans down the stands and beat the crap out of them, you know who they're gonna call. Because we're going in there and we're double moonwalking some ass. I can't wait to beat the Giants. Like, I cannot wait for that Giant game, because I was so fired up at the end of the year, with that last game. I like that kind of stuff though, because I like the hate. It makes it so much better.
Listen, man, the one thing I'll say, and I think Eagle fans definitely get a bad rap. One thing I'll give Eagles fans credit for, Giants fans may not want to admit this, but it's honestly how I feel. I think Giants fans and Eagles fans are very similar. I think both fan bases are over the top passionate. I'll tell you right now, Eagles fans are much more loyal and much more passionate than Cowboys fans. I'll tell you that right now. And so I do respect the passion from the Eagles fan base.
Yeah, no, I've always said this. I think the Giants and Eagle fans are very similar, but for years we went down different paths. You guys were winning Super Bowls and we were losing. And that's what happens. And then if you look, when you guys struggled over the years, I saw the Chris Entertainah Daniel Jones pick. The bad dog is a mad dog. And I said, those are Eagle fans. That's what we've been going through. And we're winning Super Bowl. It's like, whoa. Now it was like Bizarro World.
Yeah.
Dominic, he wants to know, do you think the Giants overpaid for Galladay? Good, interesting question.
I mean, yeah, but here's what I'll say, Dominic. If you just look at this year's market, they absolutely overpaid, which I think a lot of people did, because they're like, the salary cap's down. It's only $185 million or $182.5. So yes, based on this market, his market was probably about $14 million a year, but it was a 4-year salary. So you got to factor in, it's going to be over an increased market over the following 3 years. So yeah. I think his per year salary is definitely on par with next year's cap, and it's only going to go up after that. But the other thing I'll say to that, Dominic, is that's the nature of the beast with free agency. I had Licensed Blake guy on my channel, and he described it perfectly. When you sign a guy in free agency, you're paying A-level prices for B-level production. Yeah. That's just the way it works. It's very rare that A-level production even hits free agency.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to pay more than, that's that. When you almost always, when you sign the best player at his position in free agency, you're going to overpay. And the Giants signed the best player at his position in free agency.
Yeah. And, I think that's why the draft's so important. Because when you miss on draft picks consistently, then the only way to really fix it or hide that problem is free agency. And you overpay, then you're stuck in salary cap hell. It's kind of what has happened to the Eagles. I mean, I just got to be honest. We have not drafted well. We have drafted one Pro Bowler since 2016 under Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
And what happened? We had to go out and we had to bring in, re-sign older guys. We had to go out in free agency. And now we're in a situation where we're in cap hell. It's what happens. So, you want to draft well, and then, hey, we need this one player or this player to compete. and that's really what you want,
Yeah.
Jay Marquez, thank you so much for super chat. Dallas still stinks every day, always. Always.
We could agree on that. Eagles fans. There we go. There we go. I could get Eagles fans to stand up right now.
There you go.
Stand up. Dallas sucks. There you go. We could all
there you go.
We could all agree on that. Giants fans, Eagles fans, we could come together on our hate for Dallas.
And somewhere in this country, because I don't know where the hell he is, Mark Holmes is now making a video about us saying that they suck. It'll be up in 30 seconds. Art, thank you for the super chat. Art, make peace. Yeah, my man. Here, just wanted to show some love to the channel. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. System of the Knot, man. I see that you're here. Glad that you were able to make it. I know you said you were late. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. I mean, for me, I think this is going to be. I think this is a wide open division. I think that it could go anyway. This was a really bad division last year. It's going to be better, but I think it's wide open. And I gotta say, Chris, I think that includes my Eagles because I think we have the easiest schedule. Mm-hmm. I think we have a coaching staff that we don't know a lot about. They don't, sometimes that can work in your favor early in the year. Teams aren't really know what you're going to do. You can win a couple games, maybe early you shouldn't. And maybe you're competing at the end. It's really going to be, what is Jalen Hurts? I think if Jalen Hurts is decent, I think, and we get a little lucky, like Lane Johnson stays healthy, Brandon Brooks stays healthy, some of these guys stay healthy. I think the Eagles can at least compete in this division with the rest of these.
Listen, man, and I'm going to tell you right now, just like I said on the Philly podcast the other day, I have you guys fourth in the division.
Yeah.
But football is a game of unpredictability. Going into last year, I might have had Washington fourth in the division. Right. So football is a game of unpredictability. There's injuries that happen. And like you said, Hurts to me is the X factor for you guys on whether or not you could exceed expectations. If Hurts is a top 10 quarterback next year, sure, you have a chance. I mean, I definitely wouldn't rule you guys out. I personally don't think that'll be the case. It's why I have you guys fourth going in. I think the Giants, Washington, and the Cowboys are really close. Like anybody could have any one of those three number one. And I would say I can't argue that. Like, I think they're that close.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to come down to which unit improves more. Will it be the Giants offense or will it be the Dallas defense? Same thing for Washington. Will it be the Washington offense or will it be the Dallas defense? But I think all three of those teams are really close going in. I think those are the favorites, but you never know. I mean, you go back to 2011 when we won our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Going into the year, everybody said, oh, the Giants are done. They lost Steve Smith. And the Eagles, they were the dream team.
Yeah,
the Eagles had the biggest offseason of all time going into the year. Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. And the Eagles ended up sucking, and the Giants ended up winning the championship. So football is a game of unpredictability.
It is.
You never know.
That's what's fun about it. Everybody feels like they have a chance when the season starts. But I think this is a wide open division, though. Jason Rose, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for letting us know you've been naked all day. All right. Been naked the whole day, Philly. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to have this image all day. Anyways, do you think Hurts went to number one because he's sick of being Wentz shadow and wants to be quarterback one? I think he went to one because he was letting the league know he's about to double moonwalk everybody's ass. In all seriousness, I just think he wanted it from having that number when he was with Oklahoma. So I like it. I like the one better than the two. So I'm all for it, man. And
what about everybody
what
about everybody that bought his jersey last year?
I know. Well, that's the one thing I feel bad about is the people who've bought his jersey. Somebody said to me that they have a policy at some places where you can return a jersey or something if something like that happens. I guess really? if you buy it within a certain time. I never heard of that. But let me tell you, I got an Eric Allen jersey on. I got a throwback. I am not buying any new jerseys. Every time I buy new jerseys, I get screwed. Okay, I bought a Deshaun Jackson jersey. They cut him. Shady McCoy, they trade him. Nick Foles, they trade him. I'm done. I'm going Kelly Green. Give me Seth Joyner. Give me, I'll get a Brian Dog. Until I know somebody's actually going to stay, I'm not doing it because I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
I hate it, you know. You got a couple, right? You got a couple.
I got Eli, of course. I got like 5 Elis. I got Daniel Jones. I got Saquon Barkley. I got Andrew Thomas. I had to show love to the. I usually try to get the first round picks jersey. That's usually what I try to do. But I got a ton of old ones. I got Tiki Barber, Amani Toomer, ton of old ones.
Now, if the Eagles somehow trade up for Kyle Pitts, it's an instant. I'm buying it instantly because I love him.
Yeah. If the Giants got a player like that, I'd get his jersey. Kyle Pitts.
I had to pause though.
Yeah.
See, I had to throw my pause in there. If they get Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I love him. I'm getting his jersey too. Devontae Smith. Eagle Slayer, thank you for the super chat. He says we'll take the division at 2-15.
Based off last year, if it was the same. Here's what I'm going to say about our division, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I think our division is going to be better than people think. I think 2 teams are going to come out of this division this year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think this division is going to be better than people think.
Yeah. I think Washington scares me if they had a quarterback. Dallas, it really I think they're going to lose games 45-41.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I think you guys may be the most well-balanced team. I do wonder how's Barkley going to be coming back from ACL year 1?
Yeah,
that's always a hard thing. And your offensive line protecting Daniel Jones. But if Daniel Jones takes that next step, I think you guys have a very, very good shot. You could be the favorites in the NFC East. No question about it.
If Jones takes a step, if Jones has like a Baker Mayfield like year 3, I'd be shocked if we don't win the division.
Yeah.
Because I think that is what's holding us back right now. We don't know whether or not our quarterback's the guy. I think our defense is right there with Washington's got a great defense too, but our defense is really good. I think we have a really good head coach. I'll put our weapons with Golladay now on the team if Barkley's healthy up there with just about anybody else's weapon. Well, Dallas has the best weapons, but Dallas' defense is really bad. I'll put our weapons up there with Washington. If Jones takes the step, which is a big if, I think we're the favorites to win the division. Could be.
I think the Eagles are going to be the team everybody sleeps on, and we're going to come out and be a lot more competitive than everybody thinks. And I think the Eagles, don't be surprised we win this division. Don't be surprised, because I don't think you have to be a 10-11 win team to win this division. I really don't. Kevin Bacon, thank you for the super chat, man. Nobody hates Roseman more than me. I don't know, man. We'll have to debate that. However, it ain't on all him. That's true. I'm so glad we have new coaching staff because ones we had couldn't develop. I agree. Thank you for super chat. You can't blame. We can only blame Howie for certain things. Can't blame him for everything. I look at Rasul Douglas. He goes to Carolina, starts. Sidney Jones goes to Jacksonville, starts playing. Why is that happening? Is it Howie Roseman not picking the right guys, or maybe they're not developing these guys? It's a fair question, and it will hopefully be answered soon.
That's a great point you bring up, because I say that to Giants fans all the time. First, I want to say Kevin Bacon looks a lot different than he used to. I don't know if he got a makeover, and now he looks a lot different. But no, all kidding aside, I say that all the time about Dave Gettleman. Like Giants fans hate. Well, I shouldn't know. Some like him, a lot hate him. Like every GM, it seems like every GM gets a lot of hate regardless. But I say that all the time. Like everybody. Joe Judge, you like can't touch him. Like no matter the guy that people think he poops, they think it smells like gold.
Right.
And no matter what good happens, it's never get him. And when it's good, it's always Judge. Right. And when it's bad, like people say that Judge has all the personnel say, but when it's a bad move, they'll be like, "What did Gettleman do?" So what I say to that is, because obviously Gettleman struggled his first 2 years. Well, maybe, just maybe, guys, it had a lot to do with that. Our coach was Pat Shurmur. And maybe Pat Shurmur wasn't getting the most out of the players that he was bringing in. And maybe now that Joe Judge is the head coach, maybe now Gettleman's picks look a lot better than that they initially did, because he's getting more out of it.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of Shurmur when he was with us. So I when you guys hired, I was like, that's perfectly fine. Dominic says, thank you for super chat. He says, Rashad Bateman will be the second best wide receiver in this draft. All right, well, I mean, we'll see. Anything can happen. I
could see it. I mean, Justin, last year, all you heard about was Ruggs, Judy, and Lamb, and Justin Jefferson ended up being the best last year. So,
Joseph, I got Joseph Vega wants to say something to you. Where did it go? Where is it? Let's see. Philly 500. He said they're going to beat us up, but truth is, the Giants have beat us one time since they switched from black and white TV to color. It's been a while since they've really.
And no, I'll be the first to tell you. I have nightmares about the Eagles.
I think a lot of these young guys, though, they don't remember that 11-game like it was like 11 games where you beat the crap out of us.
You know,
They
we
don't
used,
remember.
we used to have your number way back
Yeah,
when.
you
used
did.
to.
I remember, I start remembering football right after Dick Vermeil left. So Marion Campbell was our head coach. He was defensive coordinator, became the head coach. That's really when I started getting into it. And you had LT, and he destroyed Jaworski. Destroyed him. Okay, so you guys owned us then. Then Buddy Ryan comes in. And for whatever reason, the Eagles beat Giants all the time. Everybody beat Dallas. And the Giants would beat Washington. And the Washington would beat us. But we went through a stretch. And then all of a sudden it changed. And then you guys started owning us for it was like 11, 12 straight games. And then we beat you on a James Thrash touchdown on Monday Night Football.
James Thrash. James
Thrash. That's right.
And
right.
Pinkston, I remember.
Pinkston, that's right. And then after that, we owned you guys for a while, and then it switched back, or like around 2008 or something like that. And it kind of, that's the way it kind of goes. So eventually this thing will turn around. Now, one giant win doesn't mean it's turned around. I've got to see, if you guys beat us both times this year, I'll say, yeah, here we go,
Yeah, the one game that I remember where the last, obviously last year was a great memory too, because we finally beat you for the first time since 1842. But the one memory that I have against you guys that is probably my favorite, at least in recent. We did beat you guys in the playoffs in 2000 when we went on that Super Bowl, lost in the Super Bowl. But in recent memory is the OC game where he got 6 sacks against you guys. I think it was on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. We had like 12 sacks, and OC had like six of them. Yeah,
oh man, I can't remember that. Who was the offensive tackle on the Eagles? And I can't remember his name. He got destroyed that night. That was brutal.
But and another good, and there's not many of them. Another good giant memory against you guys. I think it was either 05 or 06. I can't remember. It was Eli's comeback. You guys had a 17-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Was that week 2 in Philly, right?
It was early in the season. It was the game where Burris fumbled it and it rolled into the end zone and we fell on top of it. And
my God. You want to hear a funny story about that? That week was the week before I got married.
Really?
Okay, so I was with my wife, and I had moved into her place already, and we were getting married. And so I'm watching the game, and she's just sitting on the couch. She didn't watch. And the Eagles lose. And I just jumped up. I go, fuck this shit. I'm going to bed. And I flipped out and I ran upstairs. I got under the covers for like 2-3 hours, dude. I took a nap. She was like, what am I going to marry? I freaked her the hell out, dude. She never saw that explosion.
I could imagine, because that was a huge comeback. That was a big implosion by the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I always go back. That was like the first game. And I know you you don't like Eli, but you respect Eli.
I do.
That was the first game where I remember as a kid watching that, because I was like, how old was I then? I was about 20. And that was like the first game where I said to myself, yeah, that guy's going to be a franchise quarterback. That was the first game. Yeah. I always go back to that and I say, that was like the first real moment where I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be really good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you're going to get married to a person that doesn't really watch football. Let them get that out of the way quick, because I screwed her up. She was like, what the hell happened? And she came up to check on me, and I'm under the covers, and I didn't come out for like hours, dude. I was so mad, Jason Rhodes, thank you for the super chat. My neighbor pulled into my driveway and yelled, Donald Duck sucks. Okay, he wants to know who your all-time starting corners for the Eagles. Well, I'll go only on the guys that I've seen. I'm going to tell you, Eric Allen's the best corner I've ever seen as an Eagle. I know there are some guys before him, but I was a little too young. And I'm going to say Troy Vincent. I know a lot of people are going to say Asante Samuel Jr. Not Jr., but Asante Samuel. He was good, but Troy Vincent was a shutdown corner, man.
What was
Eric Allen, Troy Vincent?
Why am I forgetting his name? He was like the biggest bust ever for you guys. The guy you got from the Raiders in free agency in 2012.
Oh, God. Nnamdi
Asamoah. Oh, my God. That was like because everybody loved that. He was like the second guy to Revis when you guys signed him.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with him is I think that he had such respect with the Raiders that nobody threw on him. So he would go games where nobody just would throw at him. And then they started challenging him with the Eagles, and he realized, he could get him, And then you wonder, like, there was a lot of weird things, like he didn't get along with the players. He would eat lunch in the car, things like that. So, I don't know. He didn't fit. His personality did not fit Philly. If you don't fit Philly, you're going to have a problem. You just are. That's why I like this Jeremiah Wuzu-Kormoa. He's talking about the Eagles like, I fit Philly. It's like, they're gritty, I'm gritty. Let's go.
It's the same thing with New York. There's so many guys that, they're good players, but it doesn't mean that they're going to make it in New York. It's not everybody could shine under the bright lights. Yeah,
exactly. Do you think the 17-game schedule is here to stay? Oh, yeah. They wanted that anyways. And then especially after last year not having, the South, that money coming in of filling those stadiums, they're going to get that extra game in. You better believe it.
If it was up to the NFL, it would be a 100-game schedule.
Yeah,
so the fact that they got 17, it's not only going to stay, it's going to expand eventually. The NFL is about money. Don't let them fool you. They are all about money. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
Taking away a game is going to be less money. They're going to just kind of try to add more and more games.
Oh, man. And I got to tell you, man, I'm okay with it because I like the extra game, and I like that you're getting rid of one preseason game. Because
as a fan, great. We got another game.
Yeah, exactly.
From a player, if I was a player, I might be pissed off.
Yeah.
But because they're probably not going to see anything added because of it. But as a fan, more games, great.
Exactly. Remo says, speaking of waste of money on jerseys, I bought a Nnamdi Asomugha jersey. Yeah, that's
a bad one.
Yeah, that's a bad one, man. I didn't have that. System of the Now says, bring back Kelly Green for the love of God. Now, you're probably too young for when the Eagles were Kelly Green, right?
I mean, I've seen, I know.
You've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's the greatest logo, in my opinion. Like, why that logo is gone? Why is that not, like, everywhere?
It's a good logo. I remember that logo when I was little.
Yeah, I want Kelly Green back so bad.
It's a good looking jersey. I hate to admit it, but it is.
Yeah.
But the worst logo, in my opinion, of all time, the old Patriots logo.
Oh, you don't like that one?
Oh, I hated that logo.
With the guy with the Patriot hiking the ball?
Oh, I hate you.
I love that jersey. I love it.
Oh, I hate it.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, man.
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, and then when they got the new one, I'm like, oh, that's much better. You like the old?
I like the old one. I look at the new one, I'm thinking it's like a sideboard Patriot. It looks like some computer like Patriot. Like, I like the old one. I do. I think the worst, ugliest jerseys ever in sports is the alternate Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, the Bumblebee jersey, horrible.
I hate that. And when the Eagles wore the yellow jackets, whatever, the yellow throwback one year, I hated it. It was like 2008. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was ugly.
Yeah.
Max Webster, man, thank you for super chat. What's going on, y'all? All love for my guy Chris. Philly, I love to link up and see about getting you on my podcast sometime. Let's go, G-Man. Hey, man, I would love to come on. All you have to do is just reach out to me on Twitter, at YoPhilly500, or you can email me, YoPhilly500@yahoo.com. Hit me up, man. I'm more than willing to go on. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon, thank you for super chat. Wentz took a shot at Hurts by taking his number. Hurts shot back and said, you can have the 2 because I'm 1, just like it was when I was in Philly. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I love it. I hope they're fighting like that. I do. But I'm going to tell you, Chris, it's going to make me sick if he goes out in Indy and throws 40 touchdowns, like 35, 40, because I think he could.
I'm going to tell you what, Philly, one hobby that I do, I collect sports cards. It's something that I like to do. So like here's like a Lamar Jackson rookie. I collect sports cards for fun. I've been, and I'm not just saying it because he's an Eagle. I've been buying a couple of Carson Wentz rookies because I really think Carson Wentz is going to be good this year. I really do, because that is such a great situation. I mean, they've got young weapons. They have a great offensive mind. It's a very good offensive scheme. They have a very good defense. I think the Colts are like the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC, and I think that Carson Wentz is going to do well this year. I really do.
That's going to haunt me, unless Jalen Hurts is really good. But I don't like giving up talent, and I would not have traded all those picks to get a quarterback and then only come and then give up on them after one bad year.
Yeah.
I would have said, you want out, too bad. You're under contract, and you and Hurts are going to go battle for it. And that's what I would have done. And I would have had an open quarterback competition. But if he goes there and struggles, I have flashbacks. See, I get flashbacks of Reggie White in Green Bay. I get flashbacks of Randall Cunningham in Minnesota winning an MVP. Like, I can't deal with that.
So that's your mindset as a fan. You're like, when they leave, no matter how much you love them when they were Eagles, when they leave the Eagles, you don't want to see them succeed. That's kind of what you're thinking.
Yes and no. Like Reggie's my favorite player of all time. So I was happy. I rooted for Green Bay to win Super Bowl for him. But what it's caused me is that everybody views Reggie White as a Green Bay Packer over a Philadelphia Eagle, which drives me absolutely nuts, being that he still played more years in Philly. Randall Cunningham gets an MVP in Minnesota. I rooted for him to go to the Super Bowl and win it. But there's a part of it that just eats me up because I knew they shouldn't have got rid of that guy. That's what I don't want with Carson because it'll hurt me. If Hurts struggles and Carson throws 35, 40 touchdowns, I'm going to be pissed off. This wall probably comes down,
You should be. But the thing I'll say, I think it was done. Like, even if he does great in Indianapolis, I think it was done. I don't think you guys had it. It's kind of like me with Kristaps Porzingis as a Knicks fan. Like, it was done. Like, I was pissed off when they traded KP, but KP wanted out. He was forcing his way out. So I feel like it's the same thing with Carson Wentz.
I mean, if he forces his way out, I guess so. But we only hear rumors, and then you hear Carson at the press conference. He said it wasn't his decision. So it's like, well, then what do you mean it wasn't your decision? Look, I understand it. Like I'll always say this: the Hurts pick at 2 in the second round was a stupid pick. Okay, it was a stupid pick. And now Hurts could be great, and that's good. But the strategy at the time to do that was dumb. That will always remain the same. If Hurts turns out to be good, it wasn't because Howie Roseman, in my opinion, saw something. It was because he, whatever reason, made a decision based upon not getting Russell Wilson. At least, what they say. So that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I definitely hear you.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, man, I did read this earlier. He said, Wentz took a shot at Hurts by taking his number. Hurts shot back and said, you can have 2 because I'm 1, just like when I was in Philly, man. Thank you for super chat. I love it. I hope that's his mindset. Now, I do like Jalen Hurts. I do. Like, Bad Dog was on Thursday. He's like, he stinks. Forget it. He's, he don't like him. I like what I saw with Hurts. A lot of people say, well, he doesn't have arm strength and things like that. I think it's bullcrap. I think that he doesn't have to have the biggest arm. We've seen quarterbacks be great, like Joe Montana, not have the biggest arm in football. The question is, can he process quick? Can he become, poised in the pocket? Can he use his legs to move? Can he make up that deficiency? I don't think his arm's that bad, to be honest with you. I don't think it's as big as Carson's was, but I don't think it's bad. I think he can play in this league.
I can't. I honestly don't watch him enough to be able to give you a well-informed opinion. All I could say is from the games I've watched him, I don't think his arm is his strength. Let's put it that way. But he's a rookie, and I think a lot of it also comes down to the scheme that you put him in. Like Lamar Jackson, for example. When I watch, he's got an arm, he could throw it, but he's not the most accurate quarterback. But I think Baltimore puts him in the ideal situation to be successful. And I don't know if you guys will be able to do that. I don't, is Sirianni calling the plays?
I would assume so, but I can't tell you for sure.
I don't, I think a lot of it's going to come down to play calling, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to the team around him. I'm not sold on Hurts. I'll put it that way. When I've seen him play, I don't think he's Pat Mahomes. I don't think he's, an otherworldly quarterback, but he's definitely got legs. He can make plays with his legs. I'm not sold on him. Let's put it that way. But would I be shocked if he has a good year? No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could be sold on him after 4 games. Like, I wouldn't hand the keys to franchise. I got to see more. But there are things I like about him. I like his work ethic. I like his poise when things break. He seems like he's cool under pressure. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be better than people think around the league. But he doesn't have his arm strength. Isn't his biggest strength, but that doesn't mean he still can't be good. That's my only point with that. Tibria says Hurts has a mentality that can't be taught. he's going to tear up the league. I hope so. I hope so.
That guy looks pissed. In that
yeah,
picture.
he does, dude. You pissed.
That's after he took that picture when the Giants beat you guys last year.
I think he's a rock. I think he's like a rock star, dude. I think he's singing some heavy metal. He's the man. Shout out to Tim. Yeah, no, shout out to him. Kalen says, stand up. Entertainah talking sports. My favorite enemy at Philly 500. Yeah, he's great, man. Him, Bad Dog. I'm going to have to ask Pizzle on because I want to talk to him about his crying. Because remember, we did the Bad Dog thing. And the whole thing during the Bad Dog thing, all he did was cry about that last game. He's still crying about that last game.
Pizzles, yeah.
I
get it. He's trying to build up the rivalry a little bit.
Yeah,
I get it.
I got a plan for him this year, though. I got something for him coming that is going to make him have to bet me for that belt.
He gave you a ballsy offer last time. Let me ask you that, Philly. The bet was, if I remember correctly, he gets the belt, which he ultimately ended up getting.
Yeah.
Or you get to take over his channel for a week. Now let me ask you, had you have won, I know you had ideas.
Oh yeah.
What were you thinking about doing?
Some of them I can't even say because I have to keep it secret. One of the big things that I was going to do was actually I was going to get all the people that he ever pissed off or shat on, whatever, like screwed, like Mark Holmes. I was going to get E-Rock, and I was going to let them have a day on his channel to do whatever they want. except for do things that is horrible, like you can't delete people's videos, you can't do. And I was going to put all his stuff in private and act like I just deleted everything,
Right.
But I was going to change his thumbnail. Like I had a lot of plans, dude. I thought I was going to win. I wish I could have had that bet. You know what I mean?
Any preview of what you're going to offer him this year?
What's that?
Any preview of what you're going to offer him this year in terms of the bet for the belt?
I got something coming that just think unified belts.
Okay.
That he can't say no to.
Okay.
I'm tired of people shitting Hurts. All code language has stopped Hurts and guys like him. The ball comes out of Hurts' arm with the same velocity as Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. I would say this, that I don't think I think Josh Allen has a big arm. I don't know that I think Baker Mayfield has as big an arm as Josh Allen. I mean, if you look at
here's what I'll say about that. And again, I don't watch Hurts every game, but here's what I'll say about Josh Allen. I'm going to disagree with that. Mayfield, maybe so. Mayfield doesn't have Josh Allen, and Josh Allen has his faults. Whenever I watch Josh Allen does a lot of dumb things. He has stupid fumbles. He backpedals 20 yards.
Right.
In terms of an arm,
right.
I think Josh Allen is the biggest arm in the league.
Oh, it's huge.
Like some of the throws I see Josh Allen make, I could count on one hand how many quarterbacks I've seen be able to even attempt some of the throws that I see that guy be able to make. So I'm going to disagree in terms of arm strength. I think Josh Allen has Mayfield, maybe so, but Allen to me has otherworldly arm strength.
But I think there's a lot of. look, Joe Montana didn't have the biggest arm. When
Tom Brady doesn't have the biggest arm.
When he came out, one of his flaws was big arm. My whole point was when I hear that, I just don't think that's the end all be all of a good quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And he can be his arm strength, as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen in his arm, I think it's fine. And what I've seen of other guys who I think like if you look at Brady early in his career, then you look at his velocity later in his career, it got better. I think he can increase that and get better with that. So to me, I think people are comparing. Some people are still pissed off that Carson left, and so you look for reasons why this guy's going to fail, but he hasn't failed yet, and we got to give him the opportunity. And I'm pushing and I'm rooting for Hurts like crazy.
Tony brings up a great point. He says Jeff George had a great arm, but a 10-cent head. Jeff George was drafted first overall because of his arm, and he had a cannon for an arm. Josh Allen. I remember Allen made a throw last year. I was watching the game. I think it was a playoff game, and he wasn't even stepping in the throw. He was like facing the field because I guess he was forced to because of the defense. Didn't even step into it. He flicked his wrist. The ball went from 120 to the other 20 within like 2 seconds, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be able to make that throw. So in terms of just a naturally gifted arm, Josh Allen is ridiculous. But I'm still not sold on him completely as a quarterback because, like he said with Jeff George, sometimes Josh Allen is a 10-cent head.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Bacon says, bullshit. Hurts can throw the football. He has the mentality needed for the position. I agree. He just needs a little work with getting through progressions. I agree with you. I agree. I don't buy the whole arm strength thing with Hurts at all. I totally agree. I totally agree. Although people out there will say that's one of their issues with him, not me.
I'm going to be the first to say I haven't gotten a chance to watch him enough because he only played 4 games. I haven't gotten a chance to watch him enough.
Yeah. David, thank you for super chat. He says, you were in cahoots with Copizzle. You know, Copizzle and me in cahoots, I don't think so. There's no cahoots with Pizzle. He just comes right at you. He don't even give you warning. He just comes right at you. Believe me. Thanks for the super chat, though. President Putin is here from Russia with love. Thank you for super chat. He says, dolphin love is taboo. Yeah.
I can't help it.
Absolutely.
We'll be at SeaWorld soon, though.
But SeaWorld soon, buddy.
Yeah.
SeaWorld 2021, 2022. No doubt about it. You know?
Yeah, and somebody says that's good. Keep believing in Hurts. Yeah, we'll see. From what I've seen, and I only saw 2 games of his, I wasn't super impressed. But maybe he'll prove me wrong. We'll see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, people have a right to not like him. They have the right to like him. I think that the last thing I think about with Hurts is, does he have arm strength or not? To me, that is not an issue. The issue is, can he become a franchise quarterback? Is he going to prove that he's a franchise quarterback? After 4 games, I don't care who you are in this league.
Yeah.
You don't know if somebody's a franchise quarterback. You don't know. You're talking whether Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback for you guys now. And he's been going into his 3rd year in the league.
Whether it's great or whether it's bad, you don't know. Because, you know, Giants fans, you know, after Daniel Jones' first start, made him out to be the second coming of Peyton Manning. And, I had the approach of calm down. Because what's going to happen now is, because he had that great start against Tampa Bay, even though he fumbled like 2 or 3 times in that game, but he was great. You know, he definitely led us to victory. I was like, now people are going to put unrealistic expectations on the kid.
Right.
And it's inevitably going to come crashing down. And that's kind of what happened in year 2. And it's the same thing with if the guy performs poorly, like most quarterbacks are going to perform poorly their first 4 games. So I agree with you. You got to give Hurts a year and see if they can build the system around him and if he can perform well. Yeah,
I look at somebody pointed out, I forget where it was, but somebody talked about the 53-yard pass of Deshaun Jackson deep. I mean, to me, Hurts showed plenty of arm strength. I am not worried about it. Not everybody has the same arm strength, but I think Hurts' arm's fine. The question is can he be a franchise quarterback? And I say this about Carson year 1. I say this about Goff year 1. I said this about Dak Prescott year 1. Daniel Jones. To me, the rookie year is a guy's starting point in the NFL. It's like, where's he at and then where he has to go. I feel like what we saw in 4 games for Hurts was just a starting point. It wasn't even a full season. So we got to give him an opportunity. Give him a chance. Let him play this year out. And you know what? He may play this whole year out, and we still may not know. We still may not know.
And I'm going to tell Eagles fans the same thing I told Giants fans last year. Last year, I said going into I knew Daniel Jones was going to struggle the first 8 games because I said new system, none of that. So I'm going to say the same thing to Eagles fans. Like, you got to, like you just said, you got to give Hurts a chance. If he struggles the first half of the year, this guy's learning a completely new playbook.
Right.
It's like learning a new language. He only got 4 starts last year. So my honest opinion on Hurts, without even knowing a ton about the guy, without even getting to see him a lot, I think he's going to struggle to start the year next year because of most quarterbacks in their second year, if you're putting them into a second scheme, you're asking for a world of hurt. It was the same thing for Daniel Jones last year, I thought. I thought he was going to struggle going in. I think Hurts is going to struggle going in. That doesn't mean that he's going to be bad. He might be bad. He might be good, but that is not an ideal scenario, asking a quarterback to learn a second scheme in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody saw 80-yard bomb to Deshaun Jackson or that throw to Greg Ward in Green Bay game. Bro got an arm. He's got an arm. I agree with you. It's a non-issue for me. No question about it. Michael Sachs Jr., thank you for the super chat, man. Drew Brees never had the biggest arm. Number 9 forever. Absolutely. Joe Montana never had the biggest arm, too. Considered the greatest of all time.
A lot of those guys' success has to do with, one, their coaching and the position that they were put in. You know, you talk about Joe Montana. Joe Montana had Walsh. He brought the West Coast scheme. He was very innovative. Brady obviously had Belichick, and Brees had Sean Payton. He was an offensive mastermind. but 2, they were incredibly accurate. I mean, Drew Brees, everything was based on timing in that offense. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more factors that go into it than just arm strength.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. What, like I said, what I like best about Jalen Hurts that I saw so far, I just thought he had really good poise. He's cool and calm and collective in the pocket. And I think he managed that offense pretty well. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do year 2. But, at the same time, I need to see a lot more before I hand the keys and say, yeah, this is our franchise quarterback. That I don't know. I don't think anybody knows it.
Yeah, I see Albert saying, no, you guys didn't give Dak that excuse when he had a new playbook under McCarthy. Well, I think it's apples and oranges. Dak, you already have an established quarterback. You have a guy that's been in the league now for, 4 or 5 years, and Dak didn't even play bad.
No, I don't even remember. I mean,
yeah, they just weren't winning games. But
I always bust on Dak because he's a Cowboy. It has nothing to do with how good he plays.
Yeah,
it don't matter. He can throw 100 touchdowns. He stinks.
But Aaron Rodgers to me is the perfect example. To me, and I'm slightly biased. I think Aaron Rodgers is if not the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. One of the top 2 or 3 most talented. Not saying the greatest, the most talented. Aaron Rodgers, as great as he is, he struggled, but for him struggled in 2019 because he had to learn a completely new scheme. 2020, he wins the MVP, second year in the offense. So all I'm saying is Eagles fans, and what I said to Giants fans last year, don't expect Hurts to come out running and gunning. It's going to take him some time to pick up that offense. I think that's reasonable.
Well, hopefully, and it is reasonable. And I hope that they do enough to help him out. Like there are times where Doug, one of the things that really bothered me, Doug, is he just doesn't run the ball. You have a guy like Miles Sanders who's got in the first half, he's got 6 carries, 80-something yards. And then he gets 3 carries in the second half or in the fourth quarter. I really hate that. So I hope that they really run the ball, maybe get a little bigger running back as your number 2. And they help Hurts because that'll go a long way with the young quarterback to kind of help him get through trying to adjust to a new offense,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Running game is always a quarterback's best friend.
Yeah, exactly. Big Play Slay wants to know, what's Chris's standpoint on Coach Nick Sirianni?
I mean, I don't have much yet. I don't know much about him. I know he had good credentials coming in. He's an offensive guy. I think he's only 39 years old. So much like Joe Judge last year, I think it's a wait and see approach, but I'd be excited if I was an Eagles fan because like Philly said, I like the younger coach. I like the out of the box thinking. I don't like the retread. So he's a guy you got to have patience with. Like a lot of people, I think Giants fans really adapted quick to Joe Judge because he had a great opening press conference, but the media was all over him. And I'd expect the same for Sirianni. Anything that Judge did, the media picked on him. His practice methods, the way he operated, they said it was elementary. So expect the Philadelphia media to come after him. They're going to take their shots. They're going to know that there's going to be uncertainty there, and it's going to stir up drama, which is what the media tries to do. So expect that as Eagles fans. But if I was an Eagles fan, much like you're saying with Hurts, what other choice do you have? Give the guy a chance, see what he could bring to the organization. But as an Eagles fan, I would have liked that hire. Again, being completely honest with you, I don't think you guys had the most desirable spot. I mean, you look at the Eagles right now, you look at the cap situation that you guys were going to have to inherit. You look at the fact that you were probably going to have to take on Hurts. So I don't think you were going to get the cream of the crop, much like the Giants didn't get the cream of the crop. In 2018, when we hired Shermer, most great coaches weren't rushing to become New York Giants. And I think it was kind of the same thing with Judge. But in the situation that you were in, I think it was the proper approach. You brought in a young guy, a guy that could bring in a different mindset, an offensive mind, and give the guy a chance, give him an opportunity.
Yep. Zeke fan says Chris looks like the Falcon head coach. I know he does.
You were all over that. I
was. Daniel Jones is a bust, Kevin Bacon says.
We'll see.
Yeah. And he said, what if Hurts throws 30 touchdowns and 5 picks, but we still go 3-14? Is that going to be Hurts' fault too? It's not going to be Hurts' fault at all. I think if he puts up those kind of numbers.
Of course. Deshaun Watson won 4 games, and he put up great stats.
Yeah, I would love it. That's what I hope. I hope he does.
Let me tell you, wins, and it's one thing I can't freaking stand when people use that as an argument against Eli Manning to make the Hall of Fame. Wins and losses is not a quarterback-dependent stat. Right. Football is the ultimate team game. It's a 53-man roster. But yet, the 2 arguments I get for Eli Manning all the time to not make the Hall of Fame. He's got a 500 record, and that he threw a lot of picks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Warren Moon has an under 500 record if you include his playoffs, and he was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
One of the greatest quarterbacks.
And he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Talking about an arm.
Yeah, and he led the league in picks.
What an arm he
had a cannon.
Yeah.
But he led the league in picks twice. Brett Favre led the league in picks 3 times. I mean, the record thing to me is bogus because there's so much more that goes into winning and losing than just the quarterback. Right. And Watson is a prime example last year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And, we'll probably do about 5 more minutes, guys, and then we'll cut it because I know Chris got some things going on. It's a holiday weekend for some of us. So, Richard, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you think Nick will have the same offense as the Colts? I think Nick's I think the Eagles are going to have an offense blended between what the Colts do and what the Chargers do. I think you're going to see that. It's kind of going to be a mix in between. But it's going to be interesting, It's going to be – Warren Moon had the best deep, but Warren Moon – oh, God, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time.
I got to back up.
I think you're right, Blackline.
This is coming, going on an Eagles channel, but I got to back up my guy Eli here. Gimme Cash says Eli stinks. He got carried by a good defense. Gimme Cash. Do me a favor when you get a chance. Go back, look at the 2011 New York Giants roster. Because I give you the stats off the top of my head because I routinely get into this argument. 2011 New York Giants had the 32nd ranked running attack in all of football. They had the 27th ranked overall defense in all of football. The New York Giants won 9 games that year because they had a horrible roster, mainly due to injuries. They had 8 fourth-quarter comebacks in 9 of their wins. 8 game-winning drives by Eli Manning, set an NFL record. In my opinion, at least, the narrative that Eli Manning was carried by a defense, especially for that second Super Bowl, couldn't be further from the truth. Eli Manning, another stat I'm going to give you. If you include playoffs that year, at the time, it was later broken by Peyton Manning. Eli Manning threw for the most yards in a single season in the history of football in 2011. He threw for over 1,000 yards, which to this day is still the most yards ever thrown by a quarterback in a single playoff. Yet people say he was carried by a defense. It is the most ridiculous stigma. Now, his first Super Bowl, you could certainly argue that, even though Eli definitely made some plays. Second Super Bowl, couldn't be further from the truth. Eli carried that team.
I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I think Eli Manning was underrated. I think that us Eagle fans, we love to crap on anything Giants. But I think when you look at Eli Manning, the guy won playoff games. I mean, you're talking wasn't there 2 games where you guys were on the road the whole playoffs? Eli
Manning beat Aaron Rodgers on the road with a 15-1 team. He beat Tom Brady twice on even playing field. He beat Brett Favre on the road in Lambeau Field. He beat Tony Romo on the road. Beat Matt Ryan. Beat Jeff Garcia.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do. So I think Eli, and he's Peyton's brother. I think that is something to do with it too. But I think Eli was a lot better than people give him credit for. Max Webster, thank you for the super chat. Great takes. I'm going to hit you up on Twitter, Philly. Awesome, man. I'll be looking for it. No doubt about it.
By the way, check out Max Webster. He's got a good channel over there.
Is it a YouTube channel?
Basically the best way to describe his channel. I've been on his. He invited me on his channel. He's almost like Joe Rogan vibes. He takes like his favorite YouTubers and he just brings them on for like a behind the scenes type interview. He gets to know you better as a person.
Oh, cool.
He brings on his favorite content creators. He's got a cool channel.
Cool channel. Well, put the link in the description or put the link in the chat, and everybody go sub them up. Kalen keeps asking this. Philly 500, please stream a game with Chris and Bad Dog this year. If we can work it out and do it, I'm always open to something like that. But there may be a lot of cursing. I tell you though, it was fun. Like the last game of the year, I had Pizzle on during the stream. That was fun. I had fun with that. Just watching Pizzle melt down.
Yeah, I'm sure. I saw a little bit of that after the fact. I went back and watched them.
It was great.
Yeah.
And I tried to warn him. I'm like, dude, the Eagles might put Sudfeld in this game at some point. No, they ain't going to do it. I'm telling you, this is what they're saying. And boom. That was hilarious. That is a great night. I totally enjoyed that. I never enjoyed losing a game so much.
Yeah, because it made Giants fans so upset. I get it.
It did. But it just made it just added to the rivalry. Like now people are pumped up even more Giants Eagles next year, right?
Oh, I can't wait till the schedule comes out. So, and that's going to be the game I go to next year.
That should be the first week, like Monday Night Football. Like, seriously, you know,
prime time. Yeah,
absolutely. Nick DeWitt, thank you for putting. There's Max Webster's link, guys. Click them up, subscribe to them. No doubt about it. And with that said, I want to thank you, Chris, for coming on today. Man, I appreciate it. It was a blast. Love talking football with you. I'm glad that you almost reinstated at SeaWorld. That's a great thing. And man, hopefully we can do this again sometime. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate your subscribers showing me the respect, even though I'm wearing the wrong hat. Well, it's the right hat, but you guys think it's the wrong hat. But no, I appreciate you having me on. And guys, I'm going to continue. I keep saying Eli's a Hall of Famer. Just, you know what? Accept it, guys. The sooner you accept it, the better. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Guy won 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, one of only 5 quarterbacks ever to do that. And he's my man. But I appreciate you having me on, man. I had an absolute blast, and looking forward to doing it again soon.
Definitely, man. Thank you. And thank you to everybody out there. The mods, you guys were great. All the comments, super chats, you guys were awesome. Thank you for the questions. And with that said, we're going to let you guys go. You guys have a great weekend. And I'll definitely be throwing out some Philly reacts on Sunday, probably. They're all ready to go. So take care. I will talk to you later. And of course, don't be a dingbat.